How do you reduce fractions? Well, before I show you how to reduce fractions, let's talk about what it means to be a reduced fraction. A fraction is reduced if the numerator, in this case 3, and the denominator, which is 5, have no common factors apart from the number 1. And there is no number that I can divide into 3 and into 5. So this fraction is reduced. Here's an example of a fraction that hasn't been reduced. 12/40. 12 and 40 share some common factors. And I know that 12 and 40 are both even numbers. So that means they must have the factor 2 in common. So I can divide the numerator and the denominator by 2 to reduce this fraction. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll divide 12 by 2 and 40 by 2. And that gives us 6/20. Well, we did reduce the fraction a bit, but it's not in simplest form. That means we can reduce it further. Well, again, 6 and 20 are even numbers, so let's divide by 2. And now I have 3/10. 3 and 10 have no common factors apart from the number 1, so 3/10 is a reduced fraction, and it's in simplest form. So let's look at some ways to reduce fractions. The first method is called listing the factors. Let's use 24/60 as our example, and we'll list all the factors of 24. Well, the number 1 is a factor of every number, so we can write 1, and 1 times 24 equals 24, so that's its partner. 24 is an even number, so it must be divisible by 2, and 2 times 12 equals 24. 24 is also divisible by 3, and 3 times 8 gives us 24. 4 is also a factor of 24, and its partner is 6. And those are all the factors of 24. Now let's do the same thing for 60. Well, again, 1 is a factor of every number, and this time its partner is 60. It's even, so 2 is a factor, and 2 times 30 is 60. 60 is divisible by 3, and its partner is 20. It's also divisible by 4, and 4 times 15 is 60. Numbers ending in 0 or 5 must be divisible by 5, so 5 is a factor, and 5 times 12 gives us 60. And 6 is also a factor, and its partner is 10. And those are all the factors of 60. So 24 and 60 have a lot of common factors. There's 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And we need the greatest common factor, so in this case it would be 12. Now we can divide 24 and 60 by 12. And that gives us 2/5. So we've reduced 24/60 to 2/5, and that's in simplest form. The second method for reducing fractions uses prime factors. Prime factors are numbers such as 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. Prime factors are numbers that only have 2 factors, 1 and itself. So let's use the fraction 24/60 again in this example. And we're going to find the prime factors of the numerator and the denominator. And we're going to use something called a factor tree. So let's start with the number 24. We can think of 24 as the product of 3, and 8. 3 is a prime number, so we don't have to continue this branch of the tree. 8 is not prime, so we can break that number down further. So we can think of 8 as 2 times 4. 2 is a prime number, so we won't continue this branch, but 4 is not prime. So we can think of 4 as 2 times 2. And 2 is prime. So now we can write the prime factorization of 24. 24 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And now we can do the same thing for the number 60. We can think of 60 as the product of 6 and 10. Neither 6 nor 10 are prime numbers, so we have to simplify them further. We can think of 6 as the product of 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 are prime numbers. We can think of the number 10 as the product of 2 and 5. And both 2 and 5 are prime numbers. So, the prime factorization of 60 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And now we can cancel out common factors. We have a set of 2's, and another set of 2's, and a set of 3's. So that just leaves us with a 2 in the numerator and a 5 in the denominator. So our fraction is 2/5, which is what we got using the first method. So both methods are great ways to reduce fractions, but you should use the method that works best for you.